Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be unboxing the SKETCHBOX December 2020 box. And we're just gonna jump right in. We see a little card with the art, we see our menu, and a sticker. So now moving on to the first thing in the box is the SKETCHBOX Signature Watercolor Pencils. They retail for $11.99. It says with easy to lift pigments and perfect water solubility, these pencils allow you to truly achieve watercolor effects easily. And this was not an exaggeration. When I used these pencils, they were actually very smooth on the paper, and in my sketchbook, it left a nice texture behind. And then when I went back over it with the water, they actually blended out really nicely. I've actually noticed with some watercolor pencils is that when you color with it or when you draw with it, it doesn't completely dissolve. Sometimes some streaks will be left. And here is going to be the sample of me actually going over it again with water. Now at first it did kind of not want to move, and I said, oh great, it's just another typical watercolor pencil that I've dealt with. And then as I kept going, you can see that they actually do dissolve really nicely. The only thing is that they're very vibrant when you put them down on the page, but then once you add the water, the vibrancy kind of goes away, which is something that I think would be normal. But yeah. Next up, the Marabou Art Crayon in Terracotta and Caramel. They retail for $3.99 each. I've actually received a bunch of this from my Powerful packs, but I never actually opened them. I wish I would have, because they are very smooth, and when you write them down on the paper, it actually feels like you're kind of coloring with lipstick, which is really cool. I've never felt that kind of texture before. So yeah, they're really awesome. It says it acts like an oil pastel, and I could definitely see that. Now this next item, I actually forgot to record myself doing a swatch of it. It's the TCW Watercolor Sparks Powder in Olive. The retail price is $6. It's super cool. It actually comes out kind of red, and when you add water, it turns green. I've never seen anything like it. And this next item I was actually really excited for. It was the Holbein Artist Gouache in white, and it retails for $6.10. I tried to swatch it, but it's white paper, so you're not really gonna see anything. And then I swatched it over the colors. They looked really nice. It worked as how I expected it, nice and opaque. Moving on to the custom toned watercolor pad, retails for $10. And the Marabou Fluid Arts brush, which retail for $9.99, and they were a 3-piece set. I actually have mixed feelings about these brushes. Moving on to the Derwent Line Maker 0.8 in black. They retail for $3.99. It says with a super fine point and free-flowing pigment ink, this pen is great for line work. Try layering it over your watercolors. Now this is not, I repeat, it is not waterproof, which at first I thought was pretty bummy, but actually it ended up being good because I was able to use it in my sketch, and I actually enjoyed using it as a black watercolor. Sounds weird, but I really enjoyed using it and watering it down. Now, as the time lapse plays, I'm gonna go back and give some of my opinions on some of these items, starting with the Fluid Arts brush. It says here, this refillable water brush set is great for filling in large areas, applying delicate washes, and more. Try filling the chamber with your favorite pigments. Now, at first, I really enjoyed using these brushes. They did exactly what they're supposed to do, but by the end of my video you'll see a small clip where the brush actually started shedding. And I mean, this is the first time I've ever used this brush. It's supposed to be brand new, and I've never had this problem with any of my other brushes, so it was just really weird to me that it just started to randomly shed. That was really the only annoying thing about the brushes. I want to move on to the TCW Watercolor Sparks Powder. Now this thing feels expensive. At first I was mind blown, and I mean mind blown, when I saw the red powder come out, and I thought, well, maybe I got sent or they labeled this the wrong way, because the pigment is, the powder is red, reddish brownish. It's straight up like a brick red kind of color, and then when I added the water to it, it just turned into the green, and then I was like, whoa, okay. And like I said, it just feels expensive. When I laid down that wash, I'm not good at watercolors. I don't think I'm that great at watercolors. I definitely need to practice more. But when I laid down that like flat wash, it was just so perfect and effortless, and I really, really, really fell in love with this. And I think that this might be the star of the box. If this is not the star of the box, the runner-up or the second star of the box would be the Derwent line marker. I really enjoyed watering this black down. Again, I'm not an experienced watercolor artist, so maybe my opinion is total trash and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But when I watered this down, it was just so nice. And when I had colors underneath there, they just blended so nice and it muted it just perfectly. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain what I'm talking about, but it was really enjoyable and I really enjoyed the experience in using the Derwent. So I think the 2 stars of the show, well, actually, I don't know, because the Marabou art crayon was also really nice, and that was like really shocking to me. At first, I did not like the crayons because when you put it on the paper and I did the swatch, it was not smooth and gradient like the watercolor pencils when you watered them down. They were very crusty and you saw like chunks of the pigment left behind. It's so oily and it's really nice, but you'd have to be really heavy on the paper and press down really firmly to make sure that there are no spots left in between, especially if you're using textured paper, because then when you add the water, it'll have a really grainy gradient. And you're probably wondering how I changed my mind about these crayons. Well, here's the thing. Instead of putting the crayons directly on the paper, I actually scribbled them onto a palette and added water to the pigment. It really made a nice, rich, pretty color. And the more that I left behind that residue, that waxy residue, the more vibrant the colors were. So I'm really excited to actually open up all these crayons and use them all. Overall, I think this is a really great box. There was nothing in here that really disappointed me except for those brushes that frayed and shedded after the first use. Those brushes really don't seem like they're going to last very long. I hope in one of these boxes, because I'm receiving so many watercolor items, I hope I do receive an actual nice quality brush for watercolor. Kind of like the brush that I received in the SKETCHBOX Holiday 2020 edition box. That brush was actually really nice and I hope that I get to receive a bigger version of something like that. But anyways, that's not that important. It's a good box. I really enjoyed it and had a pleasant painting experience with all these items. Thank you so much for joining me in this video today and staying as long as you did. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to see me use the watercolor paper, I'll be uploading a time-lapse video of using all the materials again on the paper, and we'll see how the paper holds up. Again, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the time lapse. Bye.